Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to today's message. I want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And if you are new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. We do things completely differently here on this channel, so with that being said, if the messages happen to resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe. So I was getting a channeled message, and that was you left an undeniable impression on this person. And we're going to use the Soul's Journey Oracle today to kind of dig in and see what's going on with this, what more Source would like to share with us. To share. I don't know what's happening with my voice there, so we're gonna go with it. Gonna get in the car. Being from Colorado, I don't say ours like that, but it's just kind of weird. So maybe where is it? Where is it that they say it like that? Boston, maybe? I don't know. Maybe you're from Boston, so that could be an extra confirmation from you, or this person could have been from Boston. Or that's how they say they're ours. They like kind of like, they like make it go long. They left an undeniable impression on this person's Source. What more would you like to share with us right out the back? Out the bats. We've got abundance on the bottom. I am a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. So they're recognizing that you're this very abundant person, that you are, and it could be a relationship, because I put the cards down and relationship showed up underneath this. So I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. So this could be someone who feels like you would be a very abundant relationship to have, someone that they could grow with, someone that they could benefit having in their lives, but not just for their own, right? Not for their own benefit. They feel like you would have a mutual beneficial relationship together. And that's the impression that you left on them. So Source, my fellow humans left an undeniable impression on this person. What more would you like to share with us today? Yeah, so we've got South Node energy. We've got the third house. Okay. So for some of you, this is a labeled relationship. Okay, so this is a labeled connection. Someone that you've placed a label on. I'm not here to say that's right or wrong. It's not. You have to go based on your intuition. Please trust that above all else, okay? I do feel like there is a sense of having to let go of this need for the label, though. And why I'm saying that is because of this dice, this order of dice, right? With the third house and the South Node coming out, we have this energy where it's like, this is something that was of the past. Does it mean that they are or aren't your person? Does it mean that they are or aren't your twin flame, your soulmate, whatever label you put on there? No, that's not what this means. What it means is that the label itself is constricting. And that's what Source is showing here. And so why you've left an impression on this person is because you two were meant to come together in this lifetime to make an impact on the other. Now, does that mean that it's going to go further? It could, it might not. It's going to be different for everybody, okay? I'm not going to be the reader that says, yes, you're meant to be with your person, because why on earth would God put us here with a person like that and we would never get together? You know what? We're humans. We don't know what the hey is going to happen to us next, okay? And only a fool thinks they know everything. I'm not that person. I got it. Some of you are going to be with your person. Some of you aren't going to be with your person. And some of you, we're all going to be a big question mark because we have no idea what's next, okay? Source likes to surprise us. We have to trust that. But with this energy, it's just this reminder that taking leadership in your life and choosing to let go of the past is what has made an impact on this particular person. Now, is this the person in question? I don't think so. I feel like the person that you left a huge impression on is actually someone new. And the reason you left such a huge impression on them is because of the healing that has happened amongst a labeled relationship. Also the healing in how you communicate your ideas to others, how you share your thoughts and your feelings with others. This has made a huge impression on this person. They've never met anybody like you that's willing to take the lead and be the one that sticks out like a sore thumb. You're not trying to fit in. You're not trying to be the person that everyone else likes and agrees with. You're just trying to be you and do a good job at being you. That's it. So let's see what else comes through here. All right. Okay, so Source, my fellow humans left an undeniable impression on this person. We have the Four of Cups and the Three of Cups coming out together. This is someone who can see building a solid emotional relationship with you. Now, is that romantic? We're not seeing that, right? But we do recognize there would be healthy boundaries here. There would be a healthy give and take situation. It would be emotionally secure and emotionally sound. What more would you want? Does it have to be romantic? Are we all gonna die if it's not romantic? No, we're not, right? Having a healthy friendship like that can be super amazing as well. Having a healthy partnership like that can be super amazing as well. So I'm just putting it out there because I feel like Source needs you to know this energy, because we're also stuck on having the relationship of a lifetime, our love person of a lifetime. But again, romance is sometimes we idolize romance and we forget to come back down to the reality of the situation, which is love isn't enough, right? We need consistency, we need respect, we need honor, we need honesty, we need integrity. We need these other things that are going to show and prove that this person that we're connecting with is also worthy of our love, respect, honor, honesty, integrity, and so on and so forth, right? Love is never just enough. We have to look at the reality. Yeah, this is someone who does think that you're incredibly attractive, but also that you are fierce and fiery. That you have something that many people lack, and that is a drive just to be who you are, to set solid boundaries. You're not fearful of saying no to someone. You're saying no when you need to, because you know you need to protect yourself. And I'm not a yes person anymore. That's what I heard. I heard something. I'm not a yes person anymore. I done did that. And we're not going down that anymore. And so this is why you left an undeniable impression on this person. They're so used to having these radical people in their lives that are just trying. Maybe this person goes through people just trying to hook up with them all the time and just saying crazy things to them. Or maybe this person has people reaching out for partnership opportunities where it's just beneficial to the other person, not to them. So they're used to people being super impulsive and super unreliable and very, very, very distracted and distant. And you're not. You're very present. And more than just that, you also set yourself a boundary with this person because maybe there was something about it, like you weren't ready to connect with them in a certain way, or you weren't ready to do what it was that they asked, or they weren't ready to do what you asked, and so you had to set a boundary for yourself to say, like, well, I'm not just going to keep running after this person and hoping that they're coming through. But I feel like that's the impression that you left with them. They're saying, wow, they really know how to self-regulate. They really know how to say no. They really know how to take care of themselves, and they really know how to look after their own well-being. Yeah, yeah, so with the Knight of Cups here, this is someone who does see a potential with you. They see a very unique potential with you. And I do feel like they want to come in and offer you. Now, are they the Knight? They could be. I feel like this is more or less just showing that they do want to offer you something, that they're going to come in and offer you something. They're going to be the ones that offer it, okay? Now, the energy that they're in, we're not really looking at the energy that they're in. That's not what this reading was about. This is just what Source wants to tell you about this person. If you're having to ask who is this person, this might not be the reading for you, or you haven't yet met this person, okay? So, just keeping that in mind. But I do feel like there's this energy where they're done with this superficial act. They don't want people to be surface level anymore, and they're seeing just how deep you are. But they also recognize that that's not something that you just give to anybody and everybody willy-nilly. You might be sharing yourself on your Facebook, on your Instagram, on your TikTok, on your Snapchat, on social media, on YouTube. It's something that you give a part of yourself to help others, but you're very private. You keep to yourself. You keep the things that need to be kept quiet, and you're sharing your wisdom. And this is the profound impact that it's had on them. Your wisdom is something that they've never experienced with anyone else, and they're seeing just how deep you are as a person and how much they really want you in their life. I do feel like you're open to this person when they come in. Whoa, okay, there's 2 cards coming out here. On the bottom, we have fixed energy. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Stability, persistence, loyalty, and dependability. Didn't I say that? Like, we need consistency, we need stability, we need loyalty, we need honor, integrity, right? Dependability. These are things that we need, and this is what this person has. They're very much in their stable energy. They're very much in this energy of wanting to take care of someone, not be the only care system in their life, but to show up for them and to make it known that, hey, I really do care about you. I really do want you around. I really do see a future with you, whatever that future involves, whether that's business, love, whatever, right? I feel like I want to get one more of these. Yeah, there it was. It was right. Okay, and this was falling out too, so we'll take it. Okay, thank you, Source. On the bottom, dating. Dating and fire, carnival, celebration, ceremony, connections, romance, and love. So Source coming in saying, let me make it clear for you. You said you didn't know, so let me make it clear for you. I was just leaving it open for everyone else, Source, but you're the one that you put the cap on it. You said, nope, this is what it is. Someone wants to come in and date you. Pain. They recognize that you've been through a lot. And I feel like they've been through a lot as well. So you could be an Aquarius. Wow, Aquarius was coming through. Not what I meant to say, but you could absolutely be an Aquarius. You could be an Aries. You could be a Scorpio. Okay, you could be a Gemini. Yeah, those are the energies that I'm seeing right now. They could be one of those signs. Again, if that's not resonating with you, it's okay. It doesn't mean that this isn't your reading. But I do feel like that's kind of this tying energy is pain. This is something you both have experienced, and they recognize that they had to heal and grow from that. And they've seen how you've healed and grown from that as well. In fact, they might not have realized that you've been through so much, and now they're putting the puzzle pieces together. They're seeing that you've actually gone through a lot more than you put on, and it's coming from the wisdom that you're sharing. Consciousness, yeah, that you're wide awake. And I feel like that's also sort of saying, like, they're wide awake. They know who you are, and they know just how special you really are. Again, we're not looking at the label. This is not about the label. We're not looking at a labeled relationship here. Okay, this feels like somebody new. Okay, this feels like somebody that you just recently met, or you met that's not a part of that labeled stuff, and they're going to come back in. Okay, that's what this feels like. It does not feel like the labeled situation. Now, it could be that the idea of that is switching for you, so the label doesn't mean anything anymore, and that's why they're saying that as well. Okay, so take it as it resonates. I know everybody wants their labeled person. I get it. I know that's what it is. But we also have to remember we don't know everything, and Source has a lot of surprises for many of us, and when we're open to those surprises, we get to experience what it is that is right for us instead of holding on to what might be holding us back. Okay. I feel like one more wants to come out here. Yeah. Spiritual awakening. Fear. Yeah, there was a lot of fear that was holding you back here. Afraid, uneasy, suspicion, scared. So there's a lot of fear, but there's also been this spiritual awakening here, enlightenment, epiphany, life lessons, and a rebirth. And it had to do with a breakup, a separation, walking away, ending a separation, it's over, that you had to surrender. But part of surrendering was letting go, releasing, giving up, having patience for things to unfold, to a situation that could have been potentially deceptive, which was causing pain as well, right? Deception, shady, temptation, and enemy. Now, I'm not saying your labeled people are the enemy, but what I am saying is that sometimes we as humans start to hold on to an egregore, and that egregore grows out of control, and that's where the obsession comes from. And we believe every potential thing that every person out there is saying is what it is, instead of looking into our own hearts and knowing that it resides in our truth. But we also have to ask ourselves, is this my ego trying to convince me that what I'm saying is true? Or is this really coming from my soul and from my intuition? Because it's oftentimes the things that we don't want to hear which are coming from our soul. Because our ego wants to tell us everything that we want to hear. And it wants to convince us of everything that we want to hear because it feels like that's the path of least resistance. Okay, so interesting message to come through on this reading. Let's get some romance angels here. Wow, that one was weird how it came out. Okay, thank you. What else, Source, would you like to tell them today? They left an undeniable impression on this person. Calling in your soulmate, release your ex. Okay, see, this picture's starting to come together. Let's get one more. I feel like one more wants to come out. Whoa, okay. I almost dropped the whole deck. Interesting that that would happen. One more. You deserve love. You are lovable. See, this is the thing. Sagittarius energy is coming out as well here, but we have you deserve love. You are lovable. So I do feel like there was a situation that you might have been holding on to that was making you feel like you didn't deserve love. You know, when you sit around waiting for someone to get their stuff together and to come in and say, you're the love of my life. You're everything I've ever wanted. I've always loved you. I've never given up on you. And thank you so much for never giving up on me. The longer that takes, I know from personal experience, okay, I get this from personal experience. I'm a Pisces. Y'all are Pisces, you know, right? But it makes us feel like we don't deserve love. And Source never put us in these situations to make us feel unlovable. It was so that we could take back our power and encourage ourselves to love ourselves first. And that's what it is. And sometimes we get so caught up in having the label itself that we forget the mission is to love ourselves and to connect with Source. So we had release your ex, surrender, let go, right? Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy so you can call in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Okay, it's not about the person. It's not about the package. Okay, Source is bringing in someone who's aligned with you, but it's not about the package you think it is. And that's scary. We have Chiron coming out. Yeah, there's so many synchronicities here. Hurt and heal, right? The wounded healer. There's a lot of people out there who are still in their hurt energy, who are trying to heal others. And it's okay for us to be the wounded healer, but we actually want to come up into the wounded warrior energy, whereas we are now beyond that and we've integrated all that healing. And yeah, we were wounded at one point, but our wounding has transformed us into a warrior for Source. And now we're the spiritual army, and we're sending forth the love. We're sending forth the truth. And we're no longer holding on to the illusions that the wounded healer might still be holding on to from the emotional ego, from that wounded place, saying it has to be a certain way. We're letting go, we're surrendering and opening up to the potential of what could be. We have cardinal energy coming in, instigation, bravery, and a pioneering spirit. We're traversing down a path that is less trodden. This is something that not very many people have gone down, okay? That's what we're looking at, and that's what Source is saying, and that's why this is so important to you. That's why you left an impression on this person, and why things happened the way they did at the time that they did with the time at the time of meeting this person. Follow instructions, instigation, and faith. The only thing to worry about right now is to follow faith, right? Follow your faith. Threat. Why? Because there's a lot of threats in the grass. Snake, again. We have feud, natural enemy, and a deadly threat, okay? There are forces out there. You know, I'm not one that necessarily believes in the devil, but I do believe that negative energy wants to keep us all in a low vibrational energy because it feels like it's winning. That's how I believe. I see it as vibration, and I don't necessarily see good and evil. I just see there's vibrations. There's all different levels of vibrations, and every vibration that we're at wants to keep us at that vibration until you start to get into higher frequencies, and higher frequencies are attached to higher frequencies. They're attracted to higher frequencies because that's something they resonate with. They want to keep moving up. But lower vibrational frequencies are attached to lower vibrational frequencies. They want to keep going lower and lower. So stagnation versus growth, and that's what this feels like. Moving away from stagnation and coming into a place of growth for yourself by opening up your heart and allowing yourself to let somebody in that's going to be in vibrational match with you. We have Siegel here with cunning, perseverance, fearlessness, survival, and freedom. Freeing yourself from the old, outdated paradigm that has left you in lack and suffering. There's a big surprise on the way. Unexpectedly, another way and beyond imagination. I think the thing that stands out the most for this card is another way. There's another way to do this, but everybody's trying to convince you that it's this way. It's only this way. That's why I said at the beginning, I felt very called to this energy. Labels are they're limitations, right? They leave us in a limited space. They can only go so far. It's like putting a cage around someone without realizing we're putting a cage around them. We're coming into a new beginning. Seed, nature, or nurture, great growth, potential, and possibility. Opening up to the possibility of who it could be. There's always potential out there, but we get so stuck on having it be a certain way. Source is saying, like, the reason you left an undeniable impression on this person is because this person is in resonant match with you right now. They're going to be the ones that come forward and say, hey, guess what? I like you. I think we should hang out. I think we should get to know each other better. They're gathering up the courage right now, and they're realizing what it is that they want to say to you. This is not someone who's typed 1,000 messages and deleted them 1,000 times, okay? This is someone who is like, I really want to approach you in a way that shows that I'm not someone to be overlooked, because they know you're so good at setting boundaries. So they're getting the courage together to figure out the best way to approach you. This is not someone who owes you an apology. This is someone who sees your worth and your value, and they're seeing it more and more every day. We do have unfinished business. I feel like this goes along with release your ex. It's not over. Patterns, back and forth baggage, okay? Patterns is a thing that's standing out here. Again, this is an old pattern that you're letting go of, releasing your ex, okay? We have text message, communication, direct message, news, and phone call. So this is someone who's going to reach out to you in some way, shape, or form, okay? You both have been through a lot of pain, hurt, betrayal, grief, disappointment. They don't want to be a person that adds tears to your eyes. They want to be the person that wipes the tears away and finds a way to make you smile, because they know you deserve that more than anyone, and they feel like in their heart of hearts that that's what you would do for them too. This is a healing relationship. This is a healing connection. This is improving your growth, your progress, mending these wounds from the past. Okay? There's been religious factors here. Your love life is influenced by your religious path, your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Okay? I feel like you're the one who set the boundary between you and this person. But this person is also going to be the one that comes forward to say something. Part of that comes from your spiritual path. You really felt like I had to say no to this person so that I can make space for this other person that's not coming forward right now, okay? This is not Source saying, oh, they're going to come forth later. This is Source saying, I'm bringing to you what you're asking for. But if you're not open to receiving your blessings, how can Source give us that blessing? When we're saying, no, that's not the package. That's not the person I thought that it had to be. Source is like, I know that. But this is the person that you need. And this is the person that you've been asking for. So are you just going to tell Source, no, you made a mistake with this one? Right? Like, that's the question that we sometimes have to ask ourselves. But we do that. That's human of us, right? So not to beat yourself up because of that. Not to be like, oh, how dare I do that? You know, no, it's not that. It's just how human of us, right? That is. It's so human of us. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents, right? And I feel like also holding on to situations might be holding on to old childhood traumas. It's easier to hold on to those because it's something that you're familiar with. So abandonment or, gosh, I just totally forgot some of the other ones. But childhood wounds, I don't know, my mind just went blank. They're saying abandonment must be, for me to say that and then stop, that must be the main one here. You must be used to getting abandoned as a child, like you were abandoned in your family. Is that okay? Did you deserve that? No, that's not what we're saying, but it's something that you might have grown accustomed to, is being abandoned, like your emotions didn't matter, you were invalidated. You had to wait or chase everyone else, right? These are wounds that are still playing out that we're working on healing. This is a soulmate that's coming in. Yes, this is your soulmate. New love. I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. I said one more card, and the card that came out was new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. This is a new person. This is not a labeled relationship, twin flame. Okay, and if you're on a twin flame journey, I know that's hard to hear. It's hard to hear, but the twin flame journey is more spiritual than it will ever be physical. And I know that is sometimes really hard for us to swallow because we like to idealize and romanticize what it could be, the potential that it has. But we're not, Source isn't bringing you potential. Source is bringing you concrete evidence of someone who's on your level. So let's take a look at this card. I'm going to turn this over and we're going to read this from... I'm just going to stop for a second. We have death. I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. This is the death of something that once was. The letting go of the South Node energy. Right? Wow, I'm going to read this from the book because that is so synchronistic to this reading. Woo! It says, death is an illusion. It's a fact of life that the human body we use to travel the earth must eventually stop working. It's not meant to exist forever. The energy and consciousness that inhabit the body is free and returns to its natural home, but it never abandons us. Learn to view death as merely a change, and everything must change, because stagnancy extinguishes progress. Didn't I say that at one point? This is letting go of that stagnancy. Oh my gosh. The same is true for relationship or career. I cannot make this up. I can't. Whoa! A soul lesson may be completed. And it is time to move beyond this point of familiarity, to expand into new horizons of learning and development. This is a wonderful opportunity to thank those other souls in your life who've shared part of your path and taught you so much. Wow. I can't with you, Source. Thank you so much for that confirmation. That was next level synchronistic, and whoa. I know it's not easy, okay? I know, like, saying I'm surrendering and I'm letting go and I'm just gonna open up to whatever it is that Source has for me on this path, and I'm gonna trust if Source brings me another person that's meant for me to love in this lifetime, then I'm open to that. But when we're saying I'm absolutely refusing, I cannot, I will not ever give up on my twin flame like that, I can't, we've put it into a box and said it will never be what it can be because it has to be what I want it to be. Otherwise, it means it's all for nothing. When we're saying to Source, you did us wrong with this one. Source knows so much more about what's next to happen and what's going on with us than we do. We have to trust that. And that's not easy considering everybody and their mom in the spiritual journey is saying, you're going to be with your twin flame no matter what. There's not a chance you're not going to be with your twin flame. Look, we have people who aren't together with their twin flame telling other twin flames that they're going to be with their twin flames. We have people who are doing it for the money. We have people who are doing it for the likes, shares, and subscribes. We have people who are doing it for validation. And then you have people who are talking about what a twin flame really is, and it gets drowned out by this monster that has grown into it has to be a physical relationship because what's the point? Well, that's the beauty of it. We're learning what the point is by traveling through this journey. Let ourselves travel through the journey to find out what is our point, what is our journey mean, and not try to make it what everybody says it has to be, but rather opening up to what it could be and what potentials are. right? We're not trying to say you should let go of this person, the love that you have for them, but don't forget that love is infinite and there's always ways to make room for more. But we have somehow convinced ourselves on the twin flame journey that we could never possibly love another person like we love our twin. And that's actually true. But the truth is all the people that you've loved in your life, you don't love another person the way that you love that person in your life. Why? Because love is infinite and there's always room for more, and that more love that comes in will always be different. It will always be different. But opening up your heart to what could potentially come into your life, if it's what you really, really want, if you really, really want a romantic relationship in your life, you really want a partner to experience this life with, let go of it having to be one person. And rather say, I'm open to who it can be, who it needs to be, and who Source, Spirit, God, the universe knows it will be. Instead of us saying we know it all, because we don't. We don't. It's unfair to think that everybody and their mom knows exactly what it's supposed to be. Because there are going to be people who are waiting forever and ever and ever, expecting their twin flame to come in. And maybe that's not a part of their journey this year, and they might be letting go of very beautiful relationships to be in their life because they're saying it has to absolutely be this person. Right? We're only hurting ourselves when we're saying that. We're saying we're not open to any other potential outcome. But the outcomes are infinite. There's infinite is space and time. So saying it can only be one potential outcome, we're only doing ourselves a disservice. I'm not saying that you'll never be with your twin. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. What I'm saying is don't put yourself in a box just because everybody and their mom says that you have to be in this box. Open up to the potential of the infinite universe. Infinite. Not solo. Not one time. Not it has to be XYZ. Infinite. Allow the infinite potentials to come to you. And be open for all your blessings, no matter what they appear as. Because if they're yours, they'll always come to you as long as you're open to receiving them. So if this was your message and you felt like it resonated, leave an egg emoji, whatever an emoji is. We're just going to go with it. Leave an egg emoji down below and say, I am open to the surprises that come my way, knowing that Source, God, universe, whatever it is that you call it, has my back and will always have my back. And if it resonated, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, please check out the description box. It will have everything you need. With that, I would like to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very, very powerful message. And until next time, stay human. Bye.